Are you working? What kind of work do you do? Welcome to the Philly EDC Holster Clinic, where Kydex craftsmen from across America and beyond are sending in their holsters for us to give them our honest feedback about what could be better, what could be improved, and what they're doing right. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to our very first Philly EDC Holster Clinic. Our first submission arrived this morning. It's from a fella named Jason, and we've got it out of the box. We've been looking at about it, and we're going to talk about it now. So first things first, the definition I think is really good. The fit and finish on this I think is excellent. There are no blemishes or errors. The edges appear to be very carefully sanded generally, and I think that overall this has a very deliberate design where Jason knew what it wanted to look like before he started. You know, generally you can tell if something was done kind of on the fly or during the process, sort of like, oh, maybe I'll do this now. But this looks very planned and very deliberate. Overall, I think there's a lot of stuff about this. This is very clean. I like the rubber grommets in between the belt attachments and the holster. I think that's a very good touch. The belt loops are virtually identical and feature a similar amount of attention that the rest of the holster does, especially where it is beveled here to meet the contour of the holster. I think it's good. There's no loose fitting or anything like that. Now onto the things that I would like to change about it. First of all, I think the retention is, while it's got a little bit of a pop, it's not quite enough. I think generally speaking, retention should be just a little bit higher. Additionally, if we're going to take a look at this, while this is clearanced, you know, I can tell it's been clearanced to accommodate like a firing grip. I do believe that since this is intended to be an inside the waistband holster, there should be more coverage in this area, like at least like that, to prevent clothing from infiltrating. You know, your underpants or your undershirt will easily infiltrate into this area and possibly cause you a little bit of trouble. Additionally, the same should go on the front side of this. That being said, I can tell that this was cut out here. Likely to aid in, you know, not having any kind of snag for the ejection port. However, what you'll see is that, you know, the waistband is going to come along at this level, and if you've got the belt going through here, what this is going to do, it's going to cause your jeans and your pants to collapse into this area and possibly obstruct the holster as you're trying to reinstall the gun. So what I would recommend is that, you know, make some sort of mold that blocks out the ejection port, but make this cover, you know, come up to cover that area so that you don't get any kind of like clothing entrapment or snagging. This does have a sight channel. However, I can tell that if I were to put anything larger than the stock Glock sights on there, I might get some sort of rubbing or fitting. So I'd recommend, pardon me, I would recommend putting in a slightly taller sight channel. Additionally, what you can see is that this is flat, and it doesn't necessarily need to be curved. However, if this forward wing of the holster did curve in a little bit more, this would hug the body on this end, and as you wrap the belt around, what that does is it will help press the butt into the body and prevent it from printing. So if you want a little tip up front, if your forward wing curves further than the rearward one, it will press the holster and the gun into the body and decrease the amount that the grip sticks out. Okay, all of that is just very small issues. Another thing is that I can tell that, I mean, the amount of attention that was paid to the hand sanding of this, while it's not buffed, you know, that buffing isn't critical, but I can tell that a lot of care was put into the hand sanding of it. The issue when you get into putting a lot of care into something is that it becomes obvious where you've put the care in, and then when you slip just a little bit, what would normally be a small imperfection becomes a large imperfection. So along here, what you can see in this area is that the sanding isn't as consistent as the rest of the holster. So what you wind up with is an error that's slightly more glaring. So, you know, it just takes a few more seconds to go back over something like that and keep the high standard that you've set for yourself everywhere else on the holster, keep it consistent throughout. Because there are, you know, if you've got something that's almost entirely flawless with one flaw, the flaw jumps out, not the flawlessness, if you know what I'm saying. two things that I would change, two additional things I would change. One is that I don't know anybody who sells a whole ton of holsters a month who still relies on a, this is 125 thousandths, and that's good, it should be. But even though I was told these are not designed to be like flexi clips, rather these are designed to sort of have the belt threaded through, this will still get a certain amount of stress, and whatever you intend it to, the customer will do it differently such that it inevitably does break. So I would look into getting an injection molded solution for these, just to make your life easier. It might cost a little bit more per unit, but do it, trust me, it's worth it. And then additionally, I'm not a big fan of the flat-headed fasteners here, because what will happen is that as you go to torque it down, you'll tear them up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cut real quick. I'm going to install a couple injection molded loops on this so I can show you how good it's going to look with slightly better hardware and slightly better loops. So I just took a couple quick seconds to remove the original loops and install just a couple of the G-code loops that we have hanging out here at the shop, getting ready to go on somebody else's holster. And I just wanted to show you how like a small little detail like your choice of hardware can step it up just one little notch. Now, these screws aren't bad, but they do get torn up, and there's a certain kind of like glossiness to these, which I think is, I don't know, there's just something about it. I think you picked some good some good washers and grommets that go in here, and these loops are really nice. I can tell that you really gave a shit about making these and making them consistent and putting a quality finish on them. However, I got to tell you, if you can get a whole, I'd rather these were a little shorter in here. However, this whole pattern doesn't line up perfectly with these clips. I just wanted to do it as a demo. But if you can get a hold of the injection molded loops from Index Fasteners, and I know that these guys can be pricey at their retail price, it's worth it. Just a little bit goes a really long way in terms of the quality of the holster. The amount of labor that you have to do, these cost us zero labor. These will probably cost a few minutes a piece at least, given their quality. And time is important, consistency is important, reliability is important, and I think that implementing these small changes, those being making sure the ejection port is covered to prevent clothing infiltration, increasing the level of retention on this just ever so slightly, just 10% more retention, ensuring that there is no that there's a reduced opportunity for clothing to infiltrate into here. I think you're going to go from having a holster, which I would say right now is probably about a B to B plus, to having an A plus kind of holster. And also, I'd recommend giving it just a little curve there for the ergonomics. Like I said, if the front curves in, when you tighten up the belt, it'll pull the back around and reduce the printing and improve the comfort. So thanks for sending this in, Jason. The rest of you, as your stuff comes in, we'll be putting out the videos. We're hoping to do at least a few of them every week. If you want to participate in the Philly EDC Holster Clinic, head over to philster.com and send us an email. So thanks for watching.